evening. How are you doing? Today, I'll show you how to make these leaves fall onto the ground like this using Geo Nodes. As you can see here, they're falling very neatly and there's minimal clipping and all that stuff. Actually, no clipping at all, as you can see here. And afterwards, I'll show you how to make this too. As you can see, all of these leaves are gathering onto the ball and all that stuff. Looks really neat, really awesome and smooth. Uh, this tutorial is going to be fairly easy. The only hard stuff, the stuff that you might not understand very much, are how to make them Actually, there's nothing very hard about this tutorial at all. I'm just gonna show you how to do it right now. Okay, so let me go to new general, don't save, keep it like that. And we need to create a plane on which the objects are going to fall and all that stuff. So first of all, we need to instantiate points on this plane, as you all might have predicted by now. So bring on here, turn on the magnet. Okay, alrighty then. And then we're going to distribute points on faces and all that stuff. Good. And what are we supposed to do now? We're supposed to get the leaves. Yeah, the leaves. If you watch the video on the falling leaves loop thingy I did previously, I would tell you there where I got those leaf textures and all that stuff. It's easy, just go to textures.com and type in, I put the search preference to texture pictures, images, and all that stuff, and then type in autumn and gonna find autumn leaves, the autumn leaves I used. But first of all, we need to make sure that we go to edit preferences, add-ons, and make sure that the images as planes is on. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to material preview mode. As you can see, the points have disappeared. Now I'm going to image, images as planes, and go to, where did I put it again? Autumn, autumn leaves, yeah, right here. Import images as planes. As you can see here, they are. Now we need to put them all in the same collection. So I'm going to new collection and just like that, well, they're all selected. Now let me reselect this plane I have over here, and I'm going to let me hide these in this, and then go to instances, instance on points. The instance we're going to use is a bunch of instances that are put in this collection info node. I'm going to select both of these, and afterwards I'm going to instance and then pick instance, just like that. Now here they are. If you want to make the zero rotation a bit random, can go to utilities, random value, set this to vector, set the x and y to 0 and the z to tau. Tau, I explained this just too many times by now. Just watch my previous video and the ones about the falling leaves loop and you'll understand it on your own. So let me stick this over here, and there it is. So tau is pi multiplied by 2. I have to explain it. And pi is 180 degrees, so tau is 360 degrees. So this is from 0 to 360, as you can see here. Let me make the scale a bit smaller. Let's see, zero point 0.3. Zero point 0.3 is great, actually. Yeah, good. Good, good, good. Now, what do I want? I want to displace them. Okay, now there's an issue here. I haven't done this in over a month, I think. I think, no, not over a month, since the beginning of Ramadan. I did it in the beginning of Ramadan. I did a recording, but I didn't like it very much. Let me check the audio for a second. All right, okay. I didn't like it very much, and here we are. So first of all, we need to what do we need to do? Yeah, we need to geometry right set position. We need them to go towards the direction from which we want these leaves to fall from. So I'm going to pull out a UV sphere. What I added this to the collection by accident. Let me put it in this collection, yeah, and scale it down a bit like that, and just grab it on the Z and then G X just to demonstrate this point. I'm going to go to geometry read position, and I'm going to take this sphere info over to here and set this to relative and the locate, and I'm going to do something called getting a direction from two vectors. Like, we want to get the direction from two vectors, you have to subtract the terminal location by the initial location. I think that's it. I've done it a long time ago. I don't remember much. Let's hope it does work. So let's set this to subtract. We need to subtract the terminal position by the initial position. And let me put this over to here. Does this work? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna make it an offset, as you can see here. Now, where are our leaves? They are all over in this one. This baby over here. So I'm going to add, because I don't want them to stick to the same point. In case you don't want them to stick in the same point, just do this. I'm going to add a random value from 0 to zero point 0.2 for all of them. So I'm going to put this in here, and as you can see, they are all going in the positive direction, so I need to make this minus zero point 0.2, minus zero point 0.2, as you can see here. Now let me hide the sphere. Now, how am I going to make them get to this baby over here, to the original position? It's easy. You can go to Shift D, scale, all of them, like this. And here they are in their original position. Like, there's no set position node at all, as you can see here. But the problem is that they are all going there at the same time and all that stuff, and we don't want that. So we're gonna have to go to utilities, math, add, and afterwards we're going to use what? We're going to utilities again and use another random value from 0 to 1. Is good, I guess. Yeah, yeah, this is good, as you can see here. Now we can shove them all over there like that. But there is an issue, as you can see here, that some of them are going beyond this plane, as you can see here. So how are we supposed to fix that? The answer to that is kind of complicated for anyone who isn't into programming, but very simple to whoever does like programming. So I need to make sure that this value doesn't go under 0 by making it stick to 0 if it goes to 0. So I need to use a switch statement between two floats, as you can, when it's a float is all the way down there. Anyway, okay, good. Now, this is going to be the input for this. Now, when it's false, it's 0, and it's true, it's also 0, and all that stuff. But how are we going to configure that? The answer to that is very simple. If the We're going to use something called utilities math compare, a compare node that gives us a Boolean value. If this, let me see what this does. True with the first input is smaller than the second input. Okay, if the first input is smaller than the second input, which is going to be 0, we want this to be at 0. But if not, we want this to stay at its this position over here. Okay, I think I might have messed it up a bit. Yeah, I messed it up. I think I messed it up. Okay, let me review this. Oh yeah, I haven't put this in here. Now when I drag this all the way down, as you can see, they're not moving from their positions. And if we animate this hash frame, let's say over 70, something like that. Yeah, let me make this minus 70. Yeah, there's no jittering or anything like that. So this perfectly works. This is the equation that we're using over here. As you can see here, as a recap, if it's less than zero, if A, the value we want, is less than zero, then this will give us true value, and zero is true, so it's going to stick to true, as you can see here. But if this is true, if this is false, I mean, then it's going to stick to its original value and all that stuff, as you can see here. Now this is working properly. Let me pull out a timeline. Not a vertical split, baby. A horizontal split, honey. Just like that. Let me go to timeline, please. Just let me go there. As you can see here, they don't move. They don't move even though this value is changing. As you can see here, the driver over here is changing. Now, this is it. This is all that we want to do. Actually, no, that's not what we want to do. There's something else that we need to do. And that something else is rotating them, make them fall like the way I did in that previous that thing I showed you in the beginning, the project. So we need to go to instances, rotate instances. And afterwards, we need to, what do we need to do? Yeah, we need to rotate them by a noise texture, like this. And when we bring them down, as you can see here, they're kind of rotating, but they're not rotating all the way. So why is that? The answer to that is very simple. We first of all need to set the scale of this texture to tau. As you remember, tau is 360 degrees. The noise texture goes from 0 to 1, as you can see here. So we need to multiply it by tau. So it goes from 0 to tau to 360 degrees. So they can properly move like that, like this. But they're moving a bit too crazy for me. So I'm going to set this noise scale to something like 0.53. Is this good enough? Let me see. Yeah, a bit too slow, I gotta say. If you want them to go a bit faster, you can increase that tau. You don't have to stick to the tau all the time and all that stuff. And if you want, you can also set their positions after moving them, of course. So you have to set the position again after moving them, as you can see here. You need to go to set position, plus set position node over here. Go to texture, noise texture. I'm gonna do the good old displacement setup, as you can see here. So I'm going to pull this out, shift the scale, and set this to 1. And afterwards, I need to center them around their original position by subtracting zero point 0.5, by writing minus zero point 0.5 over here, as you can see. Now this is looking good, and when I move them like that, as you can see, This happens. They're displaced away from their original position. Here's number one, as you can see here, and they are rotating in a very weird way that I don't want to happen. So the fix for that, some of you might have caught up to it by now. The fix to that is using a geometry proximity. The lesser the distance to this parent object, let's call it, of these points, the less these displacements would happen. These displacements, yeah, you understand. Let's hope you understand. So I need to go shift right click to add this little joint over here and pull it down and type in prox geometry proximity, which is in the geometry tab if you're wondering. And I need to pull out this distance over here and shove it into this scale value. And then let me do this, shift right click to do this. Then I'm going to press S for scale and Y and then 0 to make them straight. And then grab on the Y and pull them down over here, as you can see here. And I'm going to put this again for the noise texture over here, as you can see, which is working properly as far as you can see. Now I need to make sure this goes reaches tau. But first of all, I don't want to make sure that this reaches tau. I want to make sure that this doesn't go above 1. So if the distance is 10, the scale of the texture would be really crazy. So how are we supposed to fix that is very simple. Again, we need to go to a math node and then multiply it. No, I'm sorry, this is the fix for this baby over here. Let me actually bring that back. Yeah, should D go over here? And the fix for that is using either a float curve node or a color ramp node or a map range node. But I'm going to use a map range node for the sake of simplicity and explaining. So from 0 to 1, the value is going to go up to from 0 to 1, as you can see here. When it reaches above 1, it's going to stick to 1. It's going to stick to 1, no matter how far away it is, as you can see. So this is how it works. If you want to flip it, you can set this to 1 and this to 0, and then it goes from 1 to 0, but we don't want that. Now I want to multiply this by tau, and then I'm going to add a multiplication thingy over here just if I want to control this. So when we set this back, as you can see, these leaves are now moving really realistically, frankly, really in a very realistic fashion, as you can see here. And now this is looking really, really nice. Now as a bonus, I'm going to show you how to make that ball, but some of you might have known how to make that ball by now. If you already know and want to try it out for yourself, go ahead. Be my guest. Okay, is there anything else I need to add to this? I'd like to do a quick recap. The weird part about this is that I set this sphere thingy over here. The sphere thingy, as you can see, controls where they go, as you can see, like that, because we're creating a vector from this to this, all right? And we're connecting the offset to it, all that stuff, which is really the only way I thought of. If there's any other way, please tell me down in the description. But this is looking really nice, as you can see here. Now, what do I want to do next? Actually, I don't want to do anything. This is the thing here. Let me show how we're supposed to do this to a sphere. So let me go here, go to UV sphere, grab on the X, move the positive X because I want it to move like that. And I'm going to instantiate a bunch of points on this sphere, like this, as you can see here. Now, okay, good, good. I want the line to be straight, but it's not straightening out at all. Okay, let me go now to where? Now we need to go to points on faces, check the audio. I don't want to end up talking to myself like the other two recordings. Okay, let me go to distribute points on faces. We already seen that coming, baby. Make these as dense as you want them. I'm gonna make them that dense. I want this to stay selected. I'm gonna to pull out this collection over here. I'm gonna do the same thing as last time. Separate children, reset children, go to instances, instance on points, plug this into here, pick instance, and now this is looking really good. Now I'm going to pull out this rotation thingy, and since we are doing it like this, since we are just distributing points and faces, as you can see, not turning any parts of the mesh into points, we can just pull this out over here. If you want to turn some certain points of the mesh into points, you need to use the align Euler to vector node. Look it up. I'm not going to explain it here. So, now what are we supposed to do over here? Okay, now we need to offset these. So we're going to geometry right set position. I'm going to offset them by the normals of this baby over here. So we need to go to attribute, capture attribute, and then, no, actually not these normals. These normals are better, frankly, as you can see here. So I need to delete this, do shift right click, grab on the Y, scale on the Y, type 0 to make them perfectly aligned, and go grab these on the X because we need to do some mathematics like last time. I'm gonna go to utilities, math, vector math. I'm gonna plot a scale. I'm gonna turn this to scale, and as you can see, when you pull this out, they get more separated away, far away from each other, and all that stuff. This is the only difference between the plane and the sphere. As you can see here, that just this part. this part alone, that the offset is just set to be this one's offset. So I'm going to, like previously, math, add, like that. I want it to be perfectly centered. Okay. And I'm going to plot a random value node right here and shove this into here and shove this into this baby over here. And alrighty then, I'll be back in a second. Good day. The wind, you know. Anyway, what were we doing over here? Yeah, adding random value and all that stuff, and I need to make that Boolean math thingy that checks if the value is under zero or not. So I'm going to utilities, switch, compare, go where? Float, yeah. I'm going to utilities, math, compare over here, and less than, just like that, zero. Plug this into here, don't forget it like last time. And then I'm going to plug this one into here, into false, and true is gonna keep it at zero. And when I plug this into here, it should work as intended, as you can see here. Now it's working properly. Now we need to displace it and all that stuff and rotate them too. So I'm going to, what's called again? Okay, the audio is working good. I'm going to instances, realize instances. I'm going to instances, rotate instances by the noise texture. Texture, noise texture, rotation. I'm gonna keep it low at 1. And I'm going to utilities, math, no, utilities, vector, please. Utilities, vector, vector math, scale. And I'm not going to fix this up right now. I'm going to do the same for the displacement over here. Let me copy these two, Shift D, like that. And then I'm going to plot an add node like this. And then noise texture and all that stuff and the scale and all that, and I need to subtract the 0.5 from it in order to center them. Actually, this is still the rotate instances. Now I need to go to geometry and go to right, set position over here and set this to offset. And we're going to use geometry proximity again for this. I'm going to shove this baby into here, rotation. I'm just going to do it a bit quick and dirty way. Blender, please cooperate. Okay, this tutorial is getting really boring because I'm now no longer excited. I am still excited though, but I don't sound excited, which is the issue. Gotta multiply this by tau, and then afterwards I'm going to dot this, but this. I'm going to drag it all the way over to here to scale, and I'm going to put a driver on this baby. Or no, I don't need to. Okay, as you can see now, it's working perfectly well. As you can see here, now we can do it with more than just leaves. Now, as you can see, they're going a bit more crazy than expected because I haven't added the map range node. When I add the map range node, as you can see here, they would stop going all that crazy. What the hell happened here? They're all perfectly aligned. This is really not what was intended. Like two of them are just sticking to each other. Like this, as you can see here. Ah, really weird. I guess this noise texture, this isn't necessary. I need to bump this up then to 3 meters. It's not going to do anything. Okay. I need not to pump this to 3 meters. I need to pump this into 3 strength. like that. Now they're a bit separated from each other, but there's still that weird thing, as you can see, like a grid forming over here. Those are the same leaves moving the same point in the texture, as you can see here. And the only way to fix that is by increasing the scale to something really crazy. But it doesn't matter. If you just want it to be like this, here you go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now this is the end of the tutorial. I'll be seeing all of you in the next one. Next one's going to be about moths, I think. And I hope that next one's going to help you a lot with understanding geometry nodes and what you can do with them, because I'm going to use more than just curves and all that stuff. I'm going to use a lot more stuff than that. Now, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, then piss off. Okay? Piss off. Now, see you all in the next video. Goodbye.